Hey, everybody, welcome back. This is Segment 730, giving you your collective reading. Now, I know a lot of you have come for the hot tea, and I do appreciate the listen, and I do love the confirmation. So, thank you so much. I'm glad that you're enjoying the revamp. But our last collective reading I did it a little differently. I showed you how I generally do it on oranum.com, which is where I reside, right? If you want to book a one-on-one reading with me, that's where you go, ORANUM. And I am under Nesert, NESERT, which is another derivative of Sekhmet, which is the fire goddess, right? So if you guys ever have time, check out the lore on Sekhmet so that you know exactly who I am and what we're channeling here, right? Because it's always about divinity. It will always be accurate. Sometimes it's early, not accurate, right? And sometimes when it's early, people be like, it didn't happen. Nope, not yet. Just keep waiting. Hee hee hee. But today we're going to do it different. I went ahead and pulled 3 tarot cards, 1 today's prayer, and 5 from my flash deck. Everybody say hi to Bruce. You can hear him wiggling around, which is my black cat. All right, so the first one that came out was the 9 of Pentacles in reverse, which means that some of us may be afraid to spend our money. We're worrying that we're not worthy. We may be undercharging. We may be working for free, or we are accepting a lower salary than we should. It's time for you to know that you are worthy and you deserve to be wealthy in all facets of your life. That is what the divine wants you to know, okay? Collective, an 8 of Swords also came out, which is letting us know not only do you feel like you are not worthy of wealth, but you may feel trapped by your thoughts and your situation, and you believe that you are a victim. While it may appear as if you are, always remember that you're not, right? With it being in reverse, it means that you're plagued by limiting beliefs that prevent you from moving forward. So you need to change your belief system, and you need to catch yourself when you're in a negative thought pattern and break the cycle. All right? So that is letting us know, this is 222 when I say it. The divine wants you to know that guys, you're really worthy. All the work that you have put in over these years, like you're super worthy of the accolades, of the celebration. So the third card that was pulled is our 4 of Swords. And I really feel like this was really divinely guided for someone out here, maybe all of us, but the 4 of Swords upright, you've reached your first milestone, and now you need to recharge your energy before the next phase begins. Take a break, clear your mind, and meditate. And I also want to point out, in a lot of these past collective readings, what has been coming out a lot: breathe and meditate. And now you know why. It's because you have done all this work and you may feel like it's not enough, but the divine wants you to know that it is enough. Just because you're not seeing a monetary gain, the divine is telling you that has to do with you, not the divine. Hello. So the divine is asking you to have more confidence in yourself. This is something that I had a discussion with my kids a long time ago. They asked me questions like, why weren't you this or that, or you could have been. And really, the bottom line, 333, as I'm saying this to you guys, the bottom line, it always came down to your self-confidence. A lot of us pretend to have a lot of self-confidence and we are super confident with our lives, but the truth of the matter is, when we go home at night, we still see that little boy or little girl who was yelled at when they were little, who was called a freak when they were little, who was not taken care of when they were little, and those wounds bleed over into our adulthood, and it makes us feel that we are unworthy. We're unworthy to make that money that we see those TikTokers making, to be able to start that business that we saw someone, Joe Blow, down the street, and we're like, why does Joe Blow started it and he's doing good, but what about me? So the divine wants you to understand, babe, that you need to stop working for free. There's no more free work, okay? From 2026 and up, you are a diamond and you need to shine bright like a diamond. There should be no more free anything. You know what I'm talking about? If you do it for free, it should be because you're not able to sell it, because there's a lot that's like, hey, if you sell this, it's gonna, you know what I mean? It's samples. You know what I'm talking about? And even then, not a lot of samples. Just, enough. 20%, of your merge, okay? So that is what the divine wants you to know. It's time for you guys to rest and relax. So now I'm going to pull these 5 from the flash deck so you guys can hear it. Okay, so the first one is a green and blue checkerboard, which represents playing games. So there could be an Aquarius or Sagittarius in your life that is playing games with you, whether that be mind games, whether that be love games, you never know. So the succulents did come out, and they came out in reverse. Succulents represent, when they are upright, they represent enduring love. When they're in reverse, they represent strength and resilience. So you have been shown to be strong and resilient through whatever you have been through, collective, even with people playing games in your life, okay? The fern touching the cool water pond, that symbolizes spiritual growth that led to healing. So the divine is acknowledging that you did have some spiritual growth that has led you to healing. So what I'm hearing is, in the past, you probably would have come out of a bag on this person who's playing games with you, and you probably wouldn't have been able to endure the things that you have endured through your life, right? But the divine is saying, because you did that spiritual growth, because you did the shadow work, because you did your light work, and then you combined those two, and you found that Akashic balance, baby. You found it. That is why you are able to heal, right? Like, a lot of people don't understand that you have to connect the two, but you did. And the divine is wanting to acknowledge that for you, okay? The next flashcard is going to be confetti, and confetti in on this channel, it represents celebration. So that's fertility, health, wealth, happiness, and long life. And always remember, fertility just doesn't mean you having babies. Fertility means an abundant business, abundance of friends. It means that everything that you have, when you plant those seeds, they grow, and they grow well, okay? Whatever those seeds are. And that's the divine wanting you to celebrate. The divine wants you to celebrate. That's why the divine is telling you, hey, stop holding on to that money. I got you. Let's do what we need to do. You want to level up, you got to spend some money, but I got you, right? I'm not a sugar daddy. I got you. I'm not going to pull out last minute, but you have to have that faith. That's what God is telling us right now, okay? So the reason God wants us to celebrate is because celebration is a high vibing emotion, okay? When you are happy, you are vibing, and you're vibrating at a very high vibrational state. When you are joyous, when you are singing happy songs, when you are dancing, when you whine in the hip, right? Whine the hip, you whine the hip, that energy becomes sexual energy, right? Because it's a higher vibe, okay? So that's why the divine wants us to celebrate. The divine wants us to do those things so that we can stay in a high vibrational state. And once we stay in that high vibrational state, we are able to see the worthiness that we are. Okay, because that's really what this is about, collective. We need to start feeling more worthy of the things, okay? The last 5th card, it's going to be the rainbow ocean, and that stands for go with the flow, good things are coming. I'm going to repeat that. Go with the flow, good things are coming, okay? And then this is just going to be confirmation. Bottom of the deck is a picture of Bora Bora, the shoreline with little cabanas. This symbolizes the time to rest. And this correlates with our 4 of Swords, right? Where you are you completed the first phase. And the divine is so very proud of you for completing that first phase, okay? But now the divine wants you to rest. They want you to rest and reset your heart and mind at the end of the day, because you went through some stuff, and your heart may have taken some hits, and your mind may not be able to catch up with the emotions that your heart was feeling, because sometimes it happens, right? Sometimes your mind is faster than your heart, and then 2 years later, you're sitting on the couch crying at a commercial, and you're like, 3 years ago, some shit went down, and people are like, oh my gosh, that's like weird. That's why it's so important that we rest and we reset at the end of every day, so that way there are no latent energies that come up that could mess us up. And also, I want to point out, this is a very career based. This isn't even about love. This seems like it's about career. Seems this is about your level up, okay? So it's really important when you are doing this to have that balance, to have that strength and resilience. And most of all, it's really important to be present. in your emotions, because one bad day, one bad personal day can ruin a good business deal. And that's not what you want. All right. So now we're going to go to your what God wants you to know, which is today's prayer. This comes from Daniel 2, verse 23. I thank and praise you, God of my ancestors, for you have given me wisdom and strength. So when you pray, always thank the divine and thank the God of your ancestors, because they have given you wisdom and strength, and that's why you're being able to handle this so well. But hey, keep an eye on this Aquarius Sagittarius who's playing games. Stay strong and resilient, and as always, celebrate. And that is your collective reading.